Here we are with Chapter 1, Part 2, picking up on question number 8. So we're simplifying this expression, guys. This is very, very simple to do. I've done it all year. I'm going to distribute there and get 20 plus 4n. I'm going to distribute to that middle one, so negative 2. When you distribute a negative to something that was already a negative, it becomes positive 3n. So just remember, you can be distributing just a negative, and then plus 6 at the end. And then this is just simplifying, combining like terms. So if I combine 4n and positive 3n, I get 7n. 20, negative 2 makes 18. 18 plus 6 gives me 24. So 7n plus 24. Okay, simple algebra steps. Number 9, simplifying a polynomial with division in there. So this is just, you're going to divide every single piece individually. So 14 over 7 becomes 2. Then you subtract the exponents to get m to the 4th. Okay, that narrows this down a little bit. It's got to be 2m to the 4th in the beginning. In the middle, negative 21m to the 4th over 7. I get negative 3, 21 over 7. And then I subtract the exponents to get m squared. So negative 3m squared. They both have that going on. Then the last term, if I do 7m squared divided by 7m squared, well, anything divided by itself is just 1, positive 1. So my answer on that one is D. Okay? Number 10, which is the result of subtracting this from that. It's written backwards, but if you read it carefully, it is super clear about what you were doing here. I want to start with 4x to the 3rd minus 5x squared plus 2, and I want to subtract x to the 3rd plus 3x minus 7 from that. Okay, so what's going to happen is this negative is going to distribute all the way through to the back. So the front is going to stay the same. Those parentheses are kind of meaningless. And in the back, I get negative, x to the 3rd, negative 3x. And when you distribute a negative to a negative, you get positive 7. So now I'm just combining like terms. 4x to the 3rd, negative x to the 3rd makes 3x to the 3rd, not a negative 3x to the 3rd, okay, a positive 3x to the 3rd. Negative 5x squared is the only x squared in my expression, so it's going to stay negative 5x squared. Negative 3x is the only x part, so negative 3x is what I need. And then positive 2 and positive 7 gives me the positive 9 right there. Okay, just combining like terms. Number 11, exponent laws. Gotta love them. I'm going to distribute this to the 3rd first. So I'm going to leave the top the same. And I'm actually going to write this out long version. I get negative 3 to the 3rd, x squared to the 3rd, y to the negative 3rd to the 3rd. Okay, every single one of those bases gets to the 3rd. So now, top stays the same. I'm not messing with it at all anymore, or yet. Negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 is negative 27. Okay, that 3rd negative tosses it back. X squared to the 3rd, if you look on your formula chart, it will tell you that you multiply those exponents. A power to a power, you multiply. So again here, power to a power, I'm going to multiply to get negative 9. Now you've got to remember the negative law. Negative exponents move to the top. So I'm just going to actually scratch it out from down here and put it up top. Once it moves, the negative is gone. Okay? Now if I go start actually simplifying this thing, the negative 27 is not going to move because only negative exponents move. So these that have 27 in the numerator, those are out, okay? All they've done here is pull the negative out front, which is totally okay. My x's, when I subtract, 6 minus 3 gives me x to the 3rd. It's going to still be on the denominator because that's where I had more to start with. So negative 27 has not moved. X to the 3rd is now in the denominator. when they're on the same level, you add them together. So y to the 11th stays up top and I add them. So the only one that's even close to that is A. Again, the only difference is they pulled the negative out front, okay? Number 12, factoring question. This is a shortcut factoring. I know it's going to start with x and x to get x squared. Then remember this little trick? Oh, it's got to add to make negative 10, multiply to make negative 24. I can list my factors of 24 out to the side, but if you're really quick, you will know that they are negative 12 and positive 2. Be careful. I can almost guarantee you there will always be the positive and negative version, okay? 13 looks way more complicated than it is. Oh my gosh, I've got to remember negative exponents and all this. Guys, it's all numbers. If there's no variables there, go straight to your calculator. Oh, I don't want to be in the scratch pad. There we go. So I'm just going to set up parentheses and a blank fraction. Let's see, I got 2/3. And then out to the side of that, I want to raise that to the -4th. And it'll tell me right there the answer is 81/16, okay? If it's all numbers, go to the calculator. Last question on this one. We're simplifying this expression. And then we're going to identify properties also. I'm going to do that as I do part A. So the first thing we're going to do is distributive property. So if I do my distributive property, I get 2x squared plus 6x minus 12. This middle one, there's not really anything distributing. If I distribute a positive, it stays a positive 4. A positive times a negative stays a negative 7. So there's nothing really to do there. And then the plus 1. Now I've distributed everything. All I have to do now is combine like terms, okay? That is kind of a property, I guess. So 2x squared doesn't have any like terms. Positive 6x, negative 7x makes negative 1x, which remember you can just write as negative x if you want to get fancy. So that knocks out my x terms. And then negative 12 plus 4 plus 1. So negative 12 plus 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. So there we go. 2x squared minus 1x minus 7, and those are your properties. All right, so that's chapter 1. Good to go.